So Connected Farm app is the first app solution from Trimble. It's part of our Connected Farm solution. It's available this morning on the Android store. You can download it directly using the QR code. So every time you download, you can use it to map your boundaries, enter scouting information, and capture and geo-reference those digital images. So any GPS-enabled Android phone will support this app from this morning. It's free to download, it's free to register. So once you've collected that data, simply enter your email address, and it'll link all that data through to your Connected Farm account. So we can see here with the boundary mapping, and for those of you who are familiar with the FarmWorks mobile application, we've taken the core functionality from that mobile application. So what was the key features that people started with mobile? They mapped that field boundary. Surprising level of accuracy with the smartphones. Really we were comparing it with handheld devices, and really maps a very good boundary, adequate for marking out weed features or areas in the field. We can mark out fence lines or ditches, drains, topo areas that you want to mark out on the variable axis there. So surprising accuracy from the GPS on these phones, and of course the big map background instantly updated, so we can use either the satellite imagery or a road-based map, so we have that background immediately available to us. So you can see when we log a feature using the app, the box pops up and we have an identifier of the feature which is automated, and then we have the ability to enter attributes. So these are a standardized list of attributes. We can pick up the intensity of the problem, the nature of the problem. We can associate with the crop type we've got in the field. So very quick logging of the feature that you want associated with that area, flag or line that you've logged in the field. We can also take a geo-referenced image, so we can either associate that geo-referenced image with that specific point. So as we're logging flags around the field, we can have a geo-referenced image tagged to each point as we log. Or if you want to just very quickly grab your phone from your pocket. When you click done and you've finished recording that attribute, it'll prompt you with the option to send. So if you select that option, it'll then prompt you to enter an email address. When you enter that email address, you'll be sent an email from the Connected Farm asking you to click on a link. When you do that, it'll open the account in the Connected Farm, and you'll have a live Connected Farm account, and all your data will be stored to that account. For the Apple users out there, and I know there's a number of Apple people, Apple have an approval process on their app. So the app was submitted last night to both stores. It's a 7 to 10 day approval process for Apple. So we'll be looking to synchronize the delivery of the Apple app along with the display functionality on the Connected Farm in 7 to 10 days. So vehicle management. So we can see we're building the Connected Farm, and we've spoken about the Connected Farm for several years now, and each year we come and present in front of you. We've got another aspect of that solution. We've got another area of functionality that we're delivering to provide an all-encompassing farm management solution, and we're extending that market sector. So FarmWorks is very focused on the grower sector, the family farm, corn, soybean grower. There's a lot of functionality within Connected Farm in terms of the network availability, the web availability, that broadens both the functional deliverables and also the market sector we're looking at. And vehicle management is one of those key components that delivers that ability to share the information across the entire farm. So the vehicle management collects that data and gives you the ability to observe and view that data on our web application. A few of the key features there: we are continuing to be brand agnostic with all of our Connected Farm solutions. So you can see our goal is to support not only Trimble equipment for Precision Ag data exchange, but also a range of manufacturer equipment for CAN information, vehicle information, which can provide fuel levels, fuel usage, engine hours, a host of logistical and efficiency information that's valuable within this vehicle management solution. So we display the previous locations or breadcrumb tail. It's one of the features of the software to pick that up, the last 500 locations of that vehicle by date. We can filter out to select on-off or working conditions, so we can see the status of the asset at any particular time. We can hover over the icon to give us the real-time position at that point and its working status. The dashboard information, so a snapshot of the CAN-based J1939 information from that platform support. And again, there's a platform support bulletin that will be available to you this morning, which defines the range of equipment manufacturers, equipment brands, and equipment platforms that will be functional with Vehicle Manager, and right down to the detail of exactly which data items will display. And the alert functionality, so set up that rule, choose the contact that you want to send the alert to, and when it reaches either the geofence or the curfew alert, you'll immediately get an email from Connected Farm confirming. So you can see here this geofence alert for this particular asset with the asset ID and the alert type that's been reached. So we continue to add functionality to Connected Farm. Vehicle management is the latest. It integrates with the app. We're broadening the horizon of Connected Farm to encompass a new sector for the information management division right across the range of agricultural producers.
Alright, so today we're introducing the new WM-Topo survey system. And what this is it's a handheld survey system specifically for water management. So it's designed really for the farmers who are doing their own water management applications, and also for drainage contractors and leveling contractors to go out and do their surveys even. So the whole point of this system is it's highly portable. So up until today we've had to do our surveys with our FMX display, which is, we can still do that, but it's limited to being inside a vehicle. So this system, the WM-Topo system, is not limited to being inside a vehicle. We can walk out through the field with the WM-Topo system. So the whole point of it is to be able to collect data in hard to reach places or hard to reach times. So it's compatible with our current solutions such as WM Drain and Field Level 2, and also with our FarmWorks surface software, and of course the Connected Farm. We expect that we'll be able to ship this product to customers sometime in the fourth quarter. So these hard to reach times or hard to reach places, where do we expect our customers to be able to use this the most? So the first one is where poor field conditions exist, such as muddy fields where they can't drive a tractor out into the field. So what you can do is put on your boots and take this and walk through the field and collect that topographic survey data, which is really important for water management applications. The second one is areas where we cannot get out with the vehicle for topographic reasons such as ditches. We can take this system out and walk through the ditch to collect those additional points. And the third and final one is where mature crops are in the field. So we don't want to go out there and collect topographic data with a vehicle and crush crops. So what we can do is take this system out and walk through the field and collect those topo points. So the primary use is coordinate benching is something that's really important, and we do that with our FMX display for our water management applications today. So we need to make sure that this is in the same coordinate frame as our vehicle that we're going to be using for our machine control. So that's just an important point. The topographic field survey, which is the really important piece, that's what we're really using this system for. So I can go out and collect my boundaries, I can collect spot heights or topographic points in the middle of the field. I can also calculate or collect section lines, which are really important for both land leveling and for drainage. And again, I can take these out into these areas by hand. I no longer need to drive a vehicle through the field to collect my topographic survey data. And then I can export that data either to FarmWorks or directly to the FMX display. So I can then, in those two places, I can do my design, and then I can do my machine control portion of my water management application. Alternatively, like in the graphic here, I can mount it on an ATV or a pickup truck. We have the accessories to be able to do that. So the workflow, how do we expect customers to actually use this product? So they're going to go out in the field with this, collect topographic survey data, either with this or with the FMX. So we can do one of two things. We can collect all our data with this, or we can collect some of our topographic data with WM-Topo and the remainder of our topographic data with the FMX. And then we expect that data to go one of two ways. We can either go directly to the FMX display where we can do our design, or we can send that data to the FarmWorks surface software. We have some analysis tools. We can look at our 3D model of our field. We can look at contours, watershed information, which gives us a lot better information to make some informed decisions about how we want to do our water management application or how we want our design to look. And then from the FarmWorks surface software, once we've done our design, we can send that out via the Connected Farm to the FMX display for our machine control portion. And if you look outside, you see a lot of water management machines that is what I'm talking about. We can control all those machines with 3D GPS to put in either drainage tile or to land level our field. So the receiver itself, this is a brand new receiver for Trimble. It's 440 channel GPS GLONASS receiver, fully ruggedized. This thing is pretty difficult to break it. It's really tough. It includes the antenna, the receiver, the battery, and the radio all in one unit. It has a removable battery. So the system comes with 3 batteries. You can pop them in your pocket. Each one lasts about 4.5 hours. So that's plenty of battery time to last for the entire day. It comes with a quick release connector, so I can pop the receiver off, pop it back on, which makes it really simple when I'm moving it between the truck and the field. It has a Bluetooth connection back to my Nomad, so it's completely wireless, no need for any cables for communications. The radio is either 900 megahertz or 450 megahertz, depending on your region or your choice. So the Nomad, this product, you've probably seen it before. It's been around Trimble for some time. And the reason we chose this is because it's field proven. It's highly rugged. We know that it's a really good product. It runs its own specialist WM-Topo software. Once again, it has internal Bluetooth, so it can connect wirelessly with the receiver. It has an onboard GNSS forecast, so we can look at how many satellites we expect to have throughout the day, which is a really cool tool. It also has a USB host, so we either can use the connected phone to go back to the office, or we can just use a USB stick. So just to wrap up, once again, it's a highly portable system for collecting topographic data, specifically for water management applications, so land leveling, drainage, putting in ditches.
Today we're going to be talking about our GreenSeeker handheld crop sensor. This device is designed to be kind of revolutionary to the industry. NDVI is a technology that's been around for a number of years, back into the early 90s. What Trimble is doing is we're taking this type of technology and we're commercializing it for the mass market at a low price point, so customers can look at the technology, evaluate it, how it will perform, and provide solutions for their farm, and be able to allow them to understand how their crop is performing in a better manner. So one of the main goals of this is farmers are making decisions on nitrogen rates, typically via soil samples or what they've customarily applied previously in previous years for their cropping scenarios. This type of device, along with our other GreenSeeker pieces, allow farmers or applicators to do a better job of that. So they take a reading in season. As you walk around the show, I'm sure you'll see there's a lot more application equipment geared to applying the second application of nitrogen as a supplementary rate. So that's the type of scenario that this technology complements very well. Also, environmental impacts. With the application of nitrogen, obviously there is some of that product that goes into our rivers and streams and lakes for runoff. So this gets you closer to the application rate that the crop is actually going to use and leverage in its growing conditions and application. So if we talk about the sensor itself, like I mentioned before, it's very affordable. The price is $495 retail to the industry. It's very simple to use. It's got a simple LCD display. We have a trigger to take the reading. The device is designed to be leveraged from 24 to 48 inches off of the crop that you're taking a reading from. It's also got a rechargeable battery that's got 38 hours of continuous use, so this can sit in a pickup truck and be toted around for a week at a time, and with a sampling, 30 hours of sampling time, it's very simple for a customer to leverage this over many acres. We have the optics is obviously leveraged from the things and lessons learned that we've had from the GreenSeeker product line in the past. So we've got high quality optics, and then we've got of course, the LEDs that emit the light. So we're going to walk through a scenario of a use case of what would actually happen, just so you guys can kind of understand how it would be leveraged in the industry. So one of the practices that is slightly different than maybe some farmers are used to is we do have to use a nitrogen-rich strip. So what we're talking in this scenario is a small area in their field that's representative of the best performing crop. So we have an area of the field that we apply an abundant amount or an adequate amount of nitrogen that we know is going to be absolutely confident that's going to be sufficient to supply that crop through its maturity and perform as best as it can perform. So in that scenario, you can see here we've got a couple plants to mock up. I take a reading, and the device will take a reading of the plant itself. And so we're going to get a LCD display of that best performing crop. So that's going to be your nitrogen-rich strip. Then I'm going to take a sample or multiple samples throughout the rest of the field. So at that point in time, we take a picture of a crop that may not be performing as well, may not be quite as vigorous, maybe a little smaller in stature. And again, I'm going to be taking a reading, getting the reading on the LCD display. So I'm noting both of these values. Also, one of the things that I failed to mention is this can also take an average sample. So if I hold the trigger and I walk along my plants, it's also going to capture those readings and provide an average value for me on the display screen. So once I have my nitrogen-rich strip, I also have my farmer practice. I've got two values to note. So I've got a couple numbers up here you can see, 0.8 and 0.6. And NDVI is really just the ratio of reflectance between red and infrared light that's compared to the plant. So it's taking both of those in, running through a formula, and then providing that on your screen. So 0.8, higher to closer to 1 is going to be your highest performing crop. Closer to 0 is going to be poorly performing crop. So you're going to be in the middle of the range most generally. 0.8 to 0.85 would be a very, very well-performing crop that's vigorous in its growth stage. And a lower number is going to be a representative of more of the field practice or the rest of the plants in the field. So once I have those two values, I'm able to use what's included with the device is a fertilizer rate chart. So we worked with Oklahoma State University, obviously with the previous GreenSeeker product line, as well as bringing to market more of a device that can be used for the mass market. So we've got a fertilizer rate chart, and in your media packets, you guys should all have a copy of this. And it's got some values on it. So you can see a bunch of colored lines over on the chart to the left-hand side of that graph. And really what we're doing is we're picking a reference, gives you the color of your line, your nitrogen color of your line that you're going to be using. And then your farmer practice sample is going to be where the line intersects the bottom of the graph. What that's going to do is give me a normalized rate over on the left-hand side of the graph. And that's the value that we'll use to also put into play with our crop table over on the right-hand side of the chart. So if you can see, we use the 0.8 to pick our color, which is kind of a medium green. You can see on the chart. We use our 0.6 down at the bottom, and we take our 0.6 up to where it intersects that colored line. And then we go over and we get a 0.3 value, as you can see. So like I mentioned before, you used also the right-hand side crop chart. So we're going to take dryland corn, for example, since we're in the middle of Iowa, in the middle of the corn belt. And you can see, I'm going to say, one thing a farmer needs to know, or a crop consultant needs to know, is what's my maximum yield in this field? What's my potential? So 175 bushels per acre, that's maybe a conservative, but maybe that's an average value across a certain area that they're farming. Then I'm going to go down to my crop. You can see we've got the top 8 crops globally mapped out on this chart, is what we provided. There are additional crops available but we wanted to do the top 8 food crops. So at that point in time, you go over to 232. So 232 again represents a crop factor. Again, it comes into the formula of how a crop performs to a certain amount of nitrogen. So the last thing you do is you take the 0.3 that we talked about prior, times your 232, gives you 69.6. So that would be your nitrogen rate. And our general recommendation is you round that up to the next 5 to 10 pounds per acre, or kilograms per hectare, whatever it may be for your application rate. So this would be representative of, I've got a well-performing crop in a certain area that I want to take a reading of, and I get my sample, I take my farmer practice sample, I also get a reading, and now I have the two pieces to compare, and this would be 70 pounds of additional application or additional nitrogen to bring the rest of the field up to the same level of performance as the farmer, or as the nitrogen-rich strip.